Hello, everyone. Welcome to the March Numerology Forecast and channeled messages. This is going to be a very, very busy month, and there's a lot of planetary movement, energy shifting, a lot of planets coming together in same signs all at once. We have equinox, we have eclipse season coming in for next month that we're going to start feeling this month. There's a lot going on. So let's dive in a little bit. I just want to go over some of the key themes that we're going to talk about today for the month of March. Those are awareness of stories, lies, illusions, delusions that we have been telling ourselves or others have been telling us. Acceptance of what is and forgiveness is going to be a key theme again this month, bringing more love, compassion, and forgiveness to self and others. Keeping your vibration high through maintaining your aura and energetic field, working with frequencies, deepening your awareness of oneness as a conscious creator, stepping into choosing what you want from the heart, not from the ego, not what you've been programmed to believe you think you want, and taking the first steps, pushing through the comfort zone to move your life forward. So those are some of the themes we're going to talk about and more. And for those of you who may not know me, I'm Kristen Vallis. I'm an advanced Egyptian numerologist, a channel, a conscious impact coach who guides speakers, writers, and creatives from feeling stuck, unworthy, and anxious to confidently free their voice and creative expression to experience impact, fulfillment, peace, and joy in their lives. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, please give it a thumbs up, comment below, subscribe to my channel, and you'll receive more notifications of empowering information that will enable you to raise your vibration and belief in your infinite potential and help you navigate the energies that we're going to be navigating in March and beyond. So let's dive in. Hello to everyone joining live. Hello, Sarah. Good morning. It's good to see you. Yes, definitely pop into the comments. Let me know you're here. I'm going to check back in periodically to see what you guys are saying, see how this is landing with you. So we've got a one energy month coming up. We have now officially completed 2022 and really a cycle that, we've been working through 2020, 2021, 2022. We're really coming into the final clearing of all of this. And this 7 energy year is going to be a lot about clearing a lot of this stuff out so that we can take things higher. And this one energy month is the brand new start officially of 2023. So we're really going to feel the intensity amp up, the amplification of that happening as we move into this new beginning, this real new beginning of the new year, the feeling of that new year. Even though we've been playing with the 7 energy since the start of 2023, we're really going to feel that shift now. So that movement forward with all the planets moving forward right now, we're definitely going to feel the pull this month more than the rest. It started in January, moved through February, and now March is the first full month that we're fully in 2023. We're not in completion energy this month. We're in this new one energy month, a new start of a new cycle, with all the planets moving forward. So this is going to really feel like a fast moving month, and we're really feeling that pull. We're really feeling that pull towards purpose, towards moving our life forward, to taking things higher, to deepening our spiritual awareness, our connection with our intuition, our self, all of that. In the highest expression, the one, it's about awareness. It's about intention. So we'll be setting new intentions or reaffirming our intentions. Curiosity, inspiration, innovation, new beginnings and rebirth energy. Giving and receiving is also a theme of the one. So flowing, energetic flow is going to be part of this. Planning, goal setting, taking action, conversation, speaking, communication, oneness, physical plane energy, which is the one. So we will be dealing with the three-dimensional reality that we live in more. And saying yes is a big thing about the one. Making sure that you're saying yes to opportunities that present. Even if they don't necessarily make sense to you, if you feel intuitively pulled, say yes. The low expression of the one can show up as procrastination, it can show up as laziness, complaining, addiction, overthinking things or over attention to details, attachment to the past, confusion, isolation, self-centeredness or narcissistic tendencies, and overwhelm. And it's interesting because today is a 10 of clubs 1 energy day, so that's a double 1 influence. So whatever you're experiencing today will give you a good flavor of what the 1 potential is. And you can play around with the frequencies today and see how you can tap into the higher or lower expressions of these energies. And I'd love to hear in the comments, just how are you experiencing the 1 today? Because this is the energy we're going to be playing with this whole month coming up. Hello, Tammy. Good morning. Hello, B. Hello, Fiona. Good to see you all. So that's the 1. Then it's also the 3rd month of the year, and that's important to note because even though it's a 1 energy month, the 3rd month of the year, so whatever month it is going to show up in the date every day that month, which does impact the energy. So let's talk about the 3 a little bit as well. The high expression of the 3 is about creativity, amplification, laughter, entertainment, pleasure, social and friends and groups, social success, decisive, having multiple ideas and experiences, celebration, enjoyment, joy, excitement, play, acting, flamboyance, abundance, and nurturing. And those are all higher expressions of the 3 energy. The lower expressions of the 3 energy can come in as well. So we need to be mindful of these, which are confusion, feeling frozen, anxious, depressed, self-loathing, self-judgment, critical, manipulative, scattered, grief, discouragement, overwhelm, indulgent or addiction can come in with the 3 as well. So notice that that's a thing with both the 1 and the 3. Lost, spread too thin, comparing, and punishment. So looking at those expressions of the high and the low of both those numbers, it will kind of give you a flavor for what we are potentially going to experience in March. And really, we're always in a choice point. We always get to choose, do we want to experience the highest expression or the lowest expression? However, awareness of both is the key to making that choice. So that's why I share both with you, so that you understand what's presenting for you each day and you can consciously choose. And this is the power of understanding the numbers and understanding numerology, because when you can experience the frequencies of the numbers from both sides of the spectrum, it gives you a choice to choose, how do you want to flow this energy? And that is going to be a really big thing this month, because we are conscious creators. And one of the themes I talked about in the beginning when I was announcing the themes was deepening our awareness of oneness as a conscious creator. So this is about this 3 creative energy and this 1, this awareness of the 1, that we are 1, that we are not separate from the things that we desire, from the things that we want. We're not separate from source. We are 1. We are not separate from each other. We are 1. And what can we create from that awareness of that oneness? It's infinite. The possibilities are infinite when we remember that we are 1. But if we believe in separation, if we choose the lower side of the frequencies and we choose to believe in separation and we choose to isolate and we choose to go into that narcissism, that it's all about us and not about anyone else, that's when we hamper our ability as conscious creators. We have a more difficult time creating what we want. We stay in the experiences of the things that we don't want and keep repeating cycles that we don't want, because we're not taking responsibility for remembering our oneness, for remembering and working on our relationship with Source, and coming into that collective collaboration and co-creation with Source, so that we can create what we want. So there's going to be a deepening awareness around this, whether it's through separation or through the choice of oneness and to remember our own divinity, to remember our own power as conscious creators. But you're going to feel this reflecting in your experiences in the physical world being reflected back to you. And you'll see where you're believing more in separation, where you're believing more in lack, and where you're believing more in oneness and more attached to that. So let's just see the comments here. Tammy says the one energy today is kicking the snot out of you. Yeah, I woke up in a really interesting state because I'm a really number 10. So I do get to experience the one with a lot of intensity. And then when we have this double one energy, I'm really feeling it. And I woke up in the low energy and I was like, whoa, that's interesting. And so I chose to shift it, and I chose to go, oh, what about all the potential? What about the curiosity of what's possible today, right? And really, we're going to be challenged every day this month to wake up in that energy and go, what's possible today? Get curious about all of the amazing things that you can create and experience, because that'll help you navigate this energy. The other thing that helps navigate the one energy is gratitude. But we can't get to gratitude until we get to the other piece, which I'm about to talk about. Let's see what else is in the comments. Fiona says, gosh, you're loving it. You've just done your first brain game class and it feels amazing. Oh, Fiona, you're doing this at such a perfect time, and I love that you're embarking on that journey, because I'm teaching a brain game group right now too, as you know, and we are just rounding into week 4, where it's all about taking this responsibility for all of these new awarenesses that we have, and you'll get to that part. I know you're not there yet. But this month is really going to ask us to do that. And so you're moving into this work at a time that's going to be very supportive to you, Fiona. And I love that you're doing that. Sarah says, it's perfect. You ended that relationship you were conflicted about. Good for you. You're in some pain, but you're allowing for the healing. Good. And feeling like it's been a living amends to yourself for all the times you've stayed where you weren't valued or treated well in the past. Yes, grateful for a new cycle and a new experience. Good for you, Sarah. I'm so glad that you found your way to that and that you're approaching it with that perspective, because this whole past month has been about reviewing our relationships and where we've been, not in alignment with the truth of who we are. And you are an amazing being, and you deserve to be treated with respect, love, kindness, all of those things, and valued, right? And so, yes, letting go of experiences that is not occurring in, and trusting and knowing that you're opening yourself up to something even better, right? That's where the magic happens. And that's really the whole thing about this year, is that we're clearing all of these things out that are not in alignment with who we're becoming, to make room for all of the good that wants to come in, that we're consciously creating for ourselves. And that requires some clearing, cleaning, letting go. And there's a lot of that happening today. And over this past week, we've really been feeling that final clearing of 2022. And so you may still be experiencing that for a few more days here this week too. Just be aware of that it's opening things up for you to move forward. So hello, Veronica. Welcome, welcome. So back to the themes. So I want to go back to where we were going with Tammy and talking about the gratitude, and how you can't get into gratitude before you get into awareness and acceptance of what is, and do some forgiveness work. And so those were 2 of the themes I talked about. The first 2 I mentioned because this is going to be a big month where we become aware of stories, lies, illusions, and delusions that we've been telling ourselves and others have been telling us. So we are really working through and clearing a lot of the old programming. There's going to be some big aha moments for us this month, because there's so much activity with the planets. There's so much going on planetarily. I'm not even going to talk about the important key dates, because they're almost all important this month. There's almost every single day something key going on. So I'm going to talk about how to navigate it instead of getting into the details of what they are, because I think that'll serve you guys a lot better this month than getting into the details. And This is one of the themes too, is not getting overly focused on the details, but making sure that you're staying focused on the bigger picture, on what you want to create. And yes, take the action steps you need to take, but do it intuitively. Don't get into the overthinking of it, because it will be a very mental month. We're feeling the mental energy already today, because this 10 of clubs is bringing us into that. And we will be feeling a lot of mental energy this month. So there's a lot of awareness coming in, and some of it can be jarring, especially for the people who haven't been on this journey. For those of us who's been on this journey, who've already developed some tools and support networks, we're going to have a bit of an easier time with it, although there will still be things that will maybe shock us, maybe be a little jarring to us, because there are a lot of big things unraveling. There's a lot of big things coming into our awareness that, it's just like, you guys know, like, there's new stuff coming out every day, and you just kind of look around and go, WTF, right? There's some really weird shit happening and really weird shit coming out, and then it's like, can I even trust it? And most of the time I choose to go, right, this is all BS. I know that if it's coming out in the news, it's BS, right? I know that I can trust myself and my own intuition and my own information that I'm channeling through a hell of a lot more than I can trust anything coming from the outside world. And that's where we're being challenged this month again, and we've been on this journey for a while now of learning to trust ourselves more, right? And so we're just going in deeper and deeper, and it's becoming more and more critical that we really hone this skill. So that's going to be a big thing about this awareness coming in, because the 3 is that manipulation energy, and so in the low side. So we're going to see where we've been manipulated. We're going to see where we've been manipulating, which is sometimes not fun to look at and accept about ourselves, right? But where we've been trying to manipulate things and other people and places because we're in fear about, what we believe that we need that we don't have to give ourselves. And the truth is, when you come into that oneness, when you come into that truth of who you are as an infinite being, as a conscious creator, that's when you realize that you have and are everything that you think you need from outside of you. You have all of that within you already. You already are those things. And so this month is going to bring through a lot of awareness around all of that for us. So, on a deeper level, we'll be going really deep into, like, where are we deluding ourselves, and starting to go, wow, like, holy shit, right? So there's going to be a lot of that going on. But if you look at it on a larger collective level too, there's a lot of people who've still been in a lot of denial, and there will be more people waking up to that. They'll be waking up to the denial of what they've been doing to themselves in their own lives, to the societal BS that they've been feeding into their whole lives. And there's going to be this huge cognitive dissonance that arises. It's going to create a lot of mental health issues. And mental health is going to be a big theme again this month. So as coaches, teachers, healers, artists, writers, creators, we have the calling right now. This is where we're going to feel very pulled by our purpose to help assist with this consciousness shift. As someone who came out of a cult, and we're all in a cult, and we're all coming out of a cult right now. That's what is occurring, right? But having been in a cult within a cult, in a very high control spiritual cult that I was in, and coming out of that, the experience of that when you first wake up can be very traumatic. And I think for a lot of people who have not been waking up as we've been going along here, they're going to be waking up now, and it's going to be very traumatic for them. It's going to be very jarring, and they're going to need support. They're going to need to know that everything's going to be okay. They're going to need to know that there is a way out. They're going to need to know that it gets better. They're going to be feeling angry. They're going to be feeling scared. There's going to be all kinds of stuff like that coming up. And we as the leaders in this consciousness shift are going to feel that call to really step up. Even though we're going through our own new awareness, we're going to be feeling that call to step up and really show up in a big way, in a new way like we've never done before, to help support people in what they're experiencing, what they're going through, and support them through this shift, mainly through our stories and our example of how we're doing it. Because we're just a step ahead. We're not there. We don't have it all mastered. Nobody does. So this is about trusting that you know enough, and that you're all you need to be is one step ahead of the person you're helping to be able to be of service to them. And I think that's really important to understand. Is that it's not about needing to have it all together, needing to have all the certifications, all of the everything mastered before you can step up and help. This is really about coming into your role and saying, okay, all I have to do is be one step ahead in order to help the next person. So I'm going to do that. Saying yes to the pull, saying yes to the call, saying yes to sharing your stories of how you did it, of what it was like for you, so that other people can understand that what they're going through is completely normal. That when you have these huge jarring awarenesses and awakenings, that this is normal to feel this way. It's normal to feel fear. It's normal to feel extreme anger. It's normal to feel depressed, sad, grief. A lot of grief will be coming up around what was, around what they thought was true, and that letting go of it. So there's going to be a lot of need for support in this area. And this is a way that you can start thinking about now, how do I want to show up in my business, in my service, in what I offer to the world, in my purpose, to be able to support in this way while I still support myself? And where can I tap into support to help me, maybe somebody who's that one step ahead of you, that can help you as you're moving through this as well, so you can continue to help others. So this is really going to be key for us this month. And the second part of this is acceptance of what is. So when you do have these huge awarenesses, and when you're helping other people who are having big awarenesses, accepting what is. And all of the chaos that's coming up, because there's going to be massive chaos this month, a lot of disruptions, a lot of things vying for your attention. When the planetary movement is so busy like this, and we're in this 3 energy month, there's going to be a lot of feeling pulled in many different directions. So how do you choose to keep your focus? And it is a choice. This is about choosing, what do you want to focus on? Focus on what you're creating. Don't focus on what's going away. Don't focus on the destruction happening, on the entropy happening. Entropy is the process, the law of entropy is the process of things breaking down when we take our attention away from it. And there's been a lot of entropy in process for several years now. And we saw it starting to happen big time in 2020, 2021, and then last year. It's continuing. That process takes time. It takes time to break down all of these huge systems that have been in place, especially because there are entities, people, energies that are still trying to keep them alive. But there are more and more people moving towards creating something new and taking their focus off of these old things. And the more that we do that and teach other people how to do that, to not pay attention to what's in entropy, to not pay attention to what's dying, what's going away. Focus your attention on the new and what you want to create. And that's what this month is all about. The 1 and the 3, the new and the creation. What do we want to create? If you keep your focus on what's dying, you're going to give it energy, and it's going to take longer to go. It doesn't mean it won't go. It's going. It's already way in process. It's going. But the resistance of letting it go and just taking your focus to what you want instead is going to create more suffering. So this is what we need to understand for ourselves, and this is what we need to help other people understand and help them through. This is about acceptance for what is and forgiveness. So when you start to have these awarenesses of how you've been lying to yourself or other people have been lying to you, whether it's people in your personal life or on a larger scale of governments and things like that, it doesn't matter. The same principles apply. Accepting what is and forgiving yourself for buying into it, forgiving yourself for believing it, forgiving yourself for perpetuating it, for teaching it to your children or your students or whatever, right? Any of these things that you've been, like I remember when I came out of the cult, one of the biggest things that hit me the hardest first was not being able to forgive myself for all the people I recruited into the cult when I was in there. And having to come to a state of acceptance and forgiveness around that, and knowing that I couldn't save them all, and knowing that it was their choice to follow me in, it was their choice to listen to my message and to come there with me, and it was their choice to stay in even after I left and tried to explain to them what it really was and what happened and get them out, and they didn't want to. I had to come into a lot of acceptance around that and a lot of forgiveness. And we're going to be feeling that on a personal level and on a collective level with regard to what's arising. So being able to forgive yourself for being fooled, being gaslit, being pulled into the illusion, and not seeing it for what it was until you see it for what it is, and knowing and trusting that cycle of divine timing and your perfect divine timing, and also being in acceptance and forgiveness of those who haven't gotten to that point in their divine timing cycle where they are going to see it. Instead of trying to force people to see things before their time, just trusting that everyone will wake up in their own time. And some people won't. Some people will choose to leave the planet, to leave their physical bodies in their process of awakening in order to fully awaken, instead of doing it while they're here. And so really coming to acceptance of all of that, right? So I see in the comments, Sarah saying 100%. Fiona, definitely trusting ourselves more. Catherine, hello. Emma, hello. Sarah says unconditional acceptance, a huge theme for you personally. Yeah, absolutely. Entropy, light bulb just went off for you. Good. I'm so glad, because if you can really understand this, if you can really understand this law of entropy, you will change your freaking life and change the lives of the people around you. You'll change your whole experience of your physical health, your wealth, your financial experience, your total well-being, your ability as a conscious creator. If you just take your focus off the things that you don't want, they will go away on their own. So if you're having physical pain, if you're having financial debt pile up, take your focus off of those things. Put it on wealth, put it on health, put it on vitality, put it on the things you want to create, and that's what you will put your energy towards and start creating. Entropy does not need our assistance to happen. In fact, it happens quicker when we don't try to assist it, when we don't try and fix something that we want to go away or get rid of something. Just let it clear on its own. It's already happening. The universe has that part under control. It wants to know, what do you want more of? And if you stay focused on what you want to go away or what is going away, you're going to create more suffering for yourself. It's just unnecessary. You get to choose your experience. You get to have that suffering if you want it. But why would you choose that? You know, and yet so many of us do, myself included. I'm not, perfect in this process, and I'm still learning to let go of that addiction to the suffering. But it is an addiction. And we were talking about that strong addiction energy. So when you have the 1 energy month with the 3rd month of the year in a 7 energy year, the 1, 3, and 7, those are the 3 numbers in numerology that have the biggest issues with addiction that I've found. And we're putting them all together in 1 month. So we're really going to get to see our addiction to drama. We're going to get to see where we're addicted to that suffering. And we're going to get to choose to come out of it or to perpetuate it. And it's up to you. It's your choice. So that's going to be a big thing that's happening this month. And this is where keeping your vibration high, keeping your aura and energetic field cleared. And I'm not talking about needing to protect yourself. I'm just talking about keeping your vibrational frequency higher, because the law of resonance says you're going to attract in more of what the vibrational frequency is that you're putting out there. And we talk about this a lot in the brain game. We work with this for 10 weeks about vibrational frequency and really being able to create that resonance field so that we're attracting in the things that we want. But it's much bigger than the law of attraction. There's so many other laws that are at play in this that we work with. And this is a big key, though, this month, is in that conscious creation, taking responsibility for your emotional states, for your mental states, so that you're creating that vibrational frequency. You're basically, when you're talking about emotional and mental mastery, you're talking about frequency mastery. You're creating that vibrational frequency to attract in, to pull in, to magnetize to you what you want. And so this is going to be really key. How do you keep your vibration high, though, when there's all these distractions, all this crazy going on, all this awareness coming in? You're going to be triggered off your ass this month. I don't care how mastered you are. There will be triggers. And anytime there's new awareness, especially big awareness, there will be triggers. But how quickly you navigate those triggers and transmute them into synchronicities depends on how well you know this work and how many tools you have and your willingness to use them, right? So it all comes down to choice. It all comes down to that personal responsibility. And how willing you are to forgive yourself, because here's the thing I've been noticing with forgiveness, and I've been playing around with this a lot the past few weeks especially, is the more that I am willing to forgive myself, the more I allow more love and higher vibrational frequencies into my being easier, with less effort, more quickly, all of that, right? If I'm in a state of non-acceptance or non-forgiveness for anything, even the littlest thing, it makes it that much more challenging to bring in those higher vibrational frequencies and feel them in my body, which means it's affecting my ability to create the things I want and have the experiences I want. It's creating more suffering in my life. So this is where acceptance of what is and forgiveness, when you have these new awarenesses, is going to be huge, huge. And that's going to help you raise your vibrational frequency. But it's also a conscious choice to pay attention to your vibrational frequency, to pay attention to your emotional states and what you're thinking. This isn't about eradicating the mind. This isn't about not bypassing emotions. This is about accepting all of it and choosing to shift it once you see it. Accepting it, loving it for what it is, saying, I see you, and I'm choosing to have this experience instead, and making a conscious effort to shift it. And this is what I teach in the brain game all day long. So this is really key stuff. This is about, this month also is going to be about choosing what you want from the heart, not the ego. So this goes back to the same things I've been talking about the awareness of all this programming, and I'll give you an example so you can understand this better. So I've been consciously focusing my attention on creating certain things in my life. A beach house, having a boyfriend, husband, having a dog, even having a baby, right? All of these things that have been top of my list for creating for myself for several years now. And I've been working on, getting my frequency in alignment and focusing and doing the energetic work, right? And I've been seeing signs and synchronicities coming in for a long time now of all these things, and yet they haven't materialized for me. And what I'm realizing is that I have been falling into what my ego thinks will create certain experiences for me that I want. So why do I think I want those things? Well, I want to feel love. I want to experience more love and intimacy with other human beings. I want to have more connection. I want to feel free. I want to have financial freedom, because I feel like that'll help me experience more freedom internally, right? But all of these things that I want, it's because there's certain feeling states that I want to experience. So can you let go of the programming of what you think will give you that experience, mostly because society has told you those are the things that will get you that experience, and instead focus on the frequency of the experience that you want and let go of how you think it needs to show up, so you can allow the universe to co-create with you and work the magic, and be open to saying yes to experiences that present themselves that are in alignment with those frequencies that you may have been pushing away because you don't realize that that's the thing you want showing up in a different package. This is really huge. This is really huge when you start to really understand what it means to choose what you want from the heart, not from the ego. This is what I'm talking about, is to let go of those preconceived notions, because when it's ego, it's coming from our programming. And somewhere in that programming, through advertisements, through school, through society, through our religions, through our upbringing, through all of those things, we've come to these ideas of what we think will give us the experiences we want. But we really don't fucking know. And I think that's one of the things that we're going to come into a deeper awareness of this month. So we really don't know. We only know what we want to feel. And so really feeling into what you want, instead of creating a box for yourself, which actually steals your freedom, and allow the universe to co-create with you about what that might look like. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't specifically say, well, I want to create this retreat center, and I want, this. If you can tap into the vibrational frequencies of what that's going to feel like to have that experience, and let go of a lot of the details, you will be able to create a lot easier, and you'll be able to pull in your manifestations quicker, and you will really have the fulfillment you're seeking that you're not getting from, sometimes the things show up that you want, or they don't show up because they're not truly aligned with your soul's intention, or they show up and they come in and you're like, this isn't actually giving me the experience I wanted. And you're like, next, right? This is how to do it in a much deeper way, so that you can really have the experiences you want, that you don't even know. They go beyond your imagination of how they could come in and materialize. Does that make sense? I'm interested to see what you guys think of this. So let's see here. B says, thank you. You understand better. You were just thinking of the good stuff and not the bad. Yeah. It's so important to take your focus off of that and onto what you want to create. So let me know how this is all landing for you guys, because this is really huge. And the thing is that as we're learning to play with these frequencies and learning to work with this more this month, we're going to be able to help teach other people how to do that too. And this is what we do with Q as well, the quantum expansion, which I've also been playing with a lot more, and thinking about how I'm going to present this and teach this to more people so that they can start using this too, because it's so powerful, right? And learning to play with these frequencies. So the other thing is about taking the first steps, pushing through that comfort zone. So the 3 energy and the 7 together can bring up a lot of fear on the low side. But on the high side, it can bring excitement. It can bring a thirst for knowledge and learning new things and taking risks and moving forward. And that 1 also is the new. It wants those new experiences. It's, the pioneer. So it wants us to move forward and say yes to new experiences. So if we tap into that higher vibrational frequency, it can actually help push us through beyond that comfort zone, because the comfort zone is usually where we've been hanging out and feel like some semblance of safety just because it's known, but not because we're enjoying it. So if you're not happy with the conditions of your life right now, the experiences of your life, of any part of your life, this energy, when harnessed correctly, can really push you through that comfort zone if you choose to tap into the higher vibrational frequencies. And this is why, again, it's going to be so important to keep your focus on what you want and use the tools you have. And if you don't have the tools, get them. Take the brain game with me. You know, I'm going to offer it again this month because I think some people weren't ready last month to jump in. And you might be ready now. It might be time for you to say yes now. So this is what I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to be offering things where you can learn to use Q on a deeper level as well. So I'm just going to talk about a couple more things here that I took note of when I was looking at the energies this month. So initiation, transformation, rebirth of your story through taking personal responsibility, coming into integrity with what's possible for your life and purpose through this expansive shift in perception and awareness in your perspective of things. And, you know, Sarah was sharing earlier, she's got a really positive perspective on her recent relationship choice to leave that relationship and open herself up to receiving what is really in alignment with what she deserves. Changing her perspective and not looking at it as a loss, not being, you know, in grief about it, but going, wow, this is expanding me. This is opening me up to so much more, to something so much better. It's all about perspective. So feeling pulled by a higher purpose to create, communicate, learn, discover, and mentor. Those are all going to be big themes this month that you're going to feel pulled by. Trust that. Go with it. Trust that you know enough. Community, friends, social interactions are all highlighted because the 3 is a very social number, but the 1 isn't. So you're going to want your alone time and you're going to want your social time. You're going to want a balance of that. You'll be best understood this month, interestingly enough. There's a lot about communication this month, but through the written word. So if you find that you're in communications with someone and it's not going well and they're misunderstanding what you're laying down, try writing them. Try writing them an email, a letter, something like that, and see if that doesn't open up the communication more. The 3 is about writing. And for you writers out there, you're going to love this month because it's going to be a really great month to move forward with your writing. It's a great month to start a blog, write a book, a screenplay, whatever. And anything that has a higher purpose to it, though, that's the key. That will enable you to tell your story, to impact others, and expand their thinking and belief in what's possible for them. So, you know, really sharing your knowledge, sharing your wisdom. This is really going to be a key theme, and doing that through writing can be very effective this month. Now, if you're not fond of writing, speak. Do whatever communication you want. If you paint it, if you dance it, however you love to communicate, do your communication the way that it feels good to you. I'm just saying that writing is highlighted if you're having some difficulties getting that message across. That's another thing that you could try. It will also help you to process a lot of things. So journaling and writing about your own experiences, even for your own benefit, will help you to navigate a lot of that confusion and scattered energy that can come up this month. The Jack of Spades, the 9 of Spades, 5 of Clubs, and 7 of Hearts. So those are all the cards that are bookending the month in the beginning and the end. They're all about being honest, being aligned, being in integrity, and those are all keys to success and moving forward. So people will feel your lack of integrity if you are not sincere. And this is where being honest with yourself is going to be key, because if you're not honest with yourself, if you're in denial about your own truth, then you can't be honest with others. So this is really about all of this deeper awareness that's coming in. And when you find that people are recoiling from you for certain things that you're putting out there, that's your key, that's your trigger to go, what's being reflected back to me here? Am I being honest with myself? Where can I be more honest with myself here? Where can I be more aligned with my soul's intention? And where am I still letting ego run the show? Because you'll see that reflected back to you in the physical world, in your experiences with people and with money and with your health and your body, all of those things, when you're not in alignment and being honest and in integrity. So this is definitely a key to success and moving forward, and personal responsibility, self-mastery, and leadership are all highlighted by these cards as well. The month starts off tomorrow on an 11 day, which is that higher level spiritual mastery. And so, we're being called into that all month, right? And being that spiritual leader of community, unity, oneness, expansion into the spiritual realm, into our connection with our intuition, our highest self, with source, and letting that and our soul lead the way instead of our ego. Letting our ego be utilized by us, by our soul, by our heart, by our intuition, to say, here's what we're focusing on. Please go out in the world and find things that match this. Get the ego to work for you instead of against you. So put that ego to work for soul, for spirit. All four of these cards also have to do with being around and leading, mentoring groups of people. So that's why I say that's going to be a big theme this month. And letting go of control, our favorite, which is going to be a big theme again all year. Letting go of control and trusting in the unknown, trusting in the ethereal realm, in our intuition, in our spirit, in our source. And higher level expansive spiritual awareness, initiation, learning, knowledge. That's all things around these cards that are bookending the month, that are really creating this theme. New awareness is coming through our interactions with people again this month, but also to focus our attention and prioritization within, and to our intuition and highest self, letting go again of what other people think of you, trusting yourself over everyone else. I got a big lesson with this in January, and I didn't have the realization about it until February of, wow, I was going to plan to start something in early January, and someone else told me, no, the timing's different, you should do it this time. And I postponed it, and I'm regretting it, because it's like, no, that would have been actually the right time to do it. And they've later realized that their timing was all off. And I chose to trust them instead of listening to my own intuition, which was saying, start it then. And now I'm feeling the effects of that. So, being able to trust yourself again over everyone else, even if somebody you trust and maybe even somebody who's taught you things that have been valuable to you, and they're saying something, and it's just your intuition is like, but I really feel like this is the thing. Trust yourself. Trust yourself over everyone else, because we're all here figuring this stuff out. So your intuition will never steer you wrong. And this is, really practicing with this and accepting and loving yourself when you miss the mark, and just going, okay, well, I have this awareness, I can learn from this, right? Pay attention to the people who show up in your life this month, because we are in our collective Venus season. These are the people that will be your allies and resources, or they will be the ones who trigger you into greater awareness about yourself and your purpose. So either or, they come as a blessing. So pay attention to who's showing up. If you know their numerology, if you know their ruling number, their cards, and you know your own chart, it gets even more fun, because you can see where people are coming in that have similar energies. Like, I'm noticing that I'm attracting people with certain birth cards right now in droves, and it's like, ooh, what's that trying to show me? What's that trying to show me? And just noticing that, right? It's really fun. So that's something that we can dive into together. If you don't know your chart, we can play with that. The one energy month brings the new ideas, the innovation, inspiration, curiosity, and so does that Jack of Spades and Five of Clubs bookends for the month influence as well. It's the fresh potential, the receiving and giving, the intention, goal setting, planning, communication, conversation, action, saying yes, say yes. Say yes this month to new ideas, to opportunities, and all of that. And then all of this creative energy with the third month of the year, the Jack of Spades, the Five of Clubs. So Be mindful to channel it into creating what you want. Every day this month, we have at least a double 3 in the date. So this is massive amplification, massive creativity. I can't stress this enough. Like how much you're going to be feeling these creative energies, and they need a place to channel. They need a place to move. So you have to be personally responsible about choosing consciously to direct your creative energy where you want it. I already talked about the 137 combo and the addictions. It's also about negative thinking, depression, anxiety, confusion, isolation. So awareness and choice are key. Consciously choose to surround yourself with supportive people and feed your mind, ears, eyes, and hearts with higher vibrational messaging. Turn off the frickin' TV, turn off the radio, turn off the news. You will not miss anything important. What you will miss is all of the crap that's keeping you stuck. And tune into messages about, what I do. I listen to more stuff about universal laws, anything that can help me come into that oneness frequency. You can listen to the different hertz frequencies, the solfeggio frequencies to help raise your frequency. You can do a lot of things. Listen to people who are spreading messages of love, of joy, of happiness, of how to move your life forward, how to work with frequencies. All of that kind of stuff will support you. Be in community with people who are interested in the consciousness shift and expanding their lives and moving their lives forward, and are actively working on doing that. That's how you keep your vibration higher. Mental, emotional mastery are of paramount importance. I told you mental health will be in the spotlight. Take mental breaks regularly. Take responsibility for your emotional state. And we talked about the manipulation, the gaslighting, all of that. A lot of mental breakdowns can be happening this month with people and other mental health issues. So, support where you can on that. Some people may exhibit some pretty flamboyant behavior in their codependency and attachment to needing validation and to be seen and heard and recognized by others. One can also be a recognition energy, right? And so they might be like this look at me type of energy coming from this place of neediness, and it's going to feel really icky. You're going to start noticing how you feel around people like that and feeling them trying to pull your energy because they don't know they can create it themselves. They don't know that they don't need that validation. And remembering that you have everything you need inside of you, they have everything they need inside of them. There's absolutely nothing we need from anyone else. We are the source of our own validation, our love, and acceptance. So knowing that for yourself and knowing that for them, and not needing to feed into their wanting to pull you into drama and an exchange of energy that would be draining to you. So just loving and accepting them and letting them do their thing. If you have the opportunity and you feel like they're open to it, to maybe create some awareness for them around that, but only if they're open to it. And most people who are going to be caught up in that energy may not be ready to shift that yet. And so just the acceptance of that. Taking care of your physical health and understanding that this month especially, any symptoms that you may be experiencing are truly beginning with your thinking and perceptions. The 3 and the 7 and the 1 together, again, that mental negativity can really cause disruption in the body systems, in the physical health. So this is the good news though, because if you shift your thinking, you can shift your health. You can shift your health experience. Nurture your body with organic fruits and veggies, lots of hydration this month, but really that focus on keeping your vibrational state higher, your thinking, your feeling states, your connection with source, knowing that you are one with health and vitality is really going to make a big difference in your health experience. My disclaimer, like I say every month, is that I'm not a doctor, I'm not a licensed medical practitioner, so if you have a symptom that you feel like you need to get checked out, please do so. I'm just telling you from my own personal experience, this has been, especially my own personal experience with these 3 numbers in my chart, this has been very much my experience with this, is when I shifted my thinking and perceptions and focused on the higher vibrations and what I wanted to, where I wanted to focus that creative energy, I shifted my experiences in my physical body as well. So, and I actually healed from some pretty huge diseases like MS, fibromyalgia, RA, chronic pain, chronic fatigue, all kinds of stuff. So that's what I see coming with that. And like I said, I'm not going to go into all of the details about all of the things that are happening this month on a daily basis because there's too much. There's so much happening. But, pay attention to the moon cycles. They are significant. We have equinox coming up. And I'll try and talk about that more this month. I know I say I'm going to do that every month, but this month I'm really feeling like, yes, I'm going to talk about these more this month as they go along so that we can deal with things piece by piece in smaller chunks instead of trying to do it all in one big forecast because quite frankly, it would be overwhelming to us this month. We will be needing to be conscious of that overwhelm and taking those steps to take those breaks, take those timeouts, and check in. Am I feeling my essence? Am I feeling my soul? Am I feeling my source? Am I listening to my intuition? You notice I close my eyes when I say those things. You close your eyes because that pulls your attention within. It takes your attention off the mental, off the physical, and brings it back in so that you can come back to your truth, your core, your center, and rebalance. It's going to be a huge month, you guys, and there's so much going on, and so this is really key. So let me know in the comments how all of this landed with you. I know even without giving you a lot of details on dates, I still threw a lot at you. So let me know how this is landing, and I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining live, and for those of you joining on the replay, thank you too. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or things you want to share about how you're experiencing the energy, or what you've been experiencing so far, what you're looking forward to this month, what you're concerned about this month, anything you want. I love to hear from you guys. I love you so much too, Sarah. Thank you for being here, and have a wonderful month of March. And I'll be with you again throughout the month to talk about some of those key dates and things that are coming up. So love you all. Bye-bye for now.